And I won't argue with either of those. There's some smaller, mom and pop joints too that I would recommend to anybody. Anytime somebody tells me they're going to Chicago, where should they go? I'm like, that's an extraordinarily broad question. I just ask, where are they staying? Because, you're not going to get in your car and drive. The map will tell you it's 20 minutes. It's 45 minutes. So Geno's East. If you're going to go with like the big local chains, Lou Malnati's, Geno's East. Those aren't bad picks. But the Guardians will be back here at home tomorrow to start up. They're doing 2 home stands, 4 games apiece. It's going to be the Tampa Bay Rays, and then it's going to be the Minnesota Twins. And you will hear all of it here on MMS. First pitch tomorrow night at 7:10, I believe. While everyone else is hemming and hawing and hawing and hemming and then hemming some more and then hawing one more time over how to reach the electorate. There's no shortage of micro-targeting of audiences. There is no level to which people will not pander. There's a woman named Sally Duvall who's running for Congress in Texas. She's a Democrat. She's pushing to legalize marijuana. Now, I didn't realize that pot wasn't legal there in Texas. For all of and I love Texas. Every time we've gone, had a great time. You kind of, once you get the dust in the air and the boots and the rocks and you kind of feel that vibe when you're in Texas. We have a lot of bureau chiefs down there, but your mileage may vary when you go to Texas. But for all this talk about like freedoms, there's a lot of things, boy, that are outlawed in Texas. Weed and abortions, probably near the top of the list there. Now, I'm talking about if you're a person. If you're a company, all bets are off. If you're a company or a corporation, you can pretty much do whatever you want. But if you're a person, not so much. Sally Duvall is running for Congress, and her campaign ad is just her doing some bong rips to get people interested in her campaign. And
I love it.
She pretty much looks the way you think she would. Sally Duvall for the Texas State House. Her firing up a spliff and then...
My name is Sally Duvall, and I'm running for the Texas House of Representatives. You might already know what's in this, but do you know who has no idea and no way to test it? Law enforcement. They arrest people every day for marijuana possession, but they don't have the funding to test if it's illegal marijuana or a federally legal hemp product. Our laws are confusing and unclear. While marijuana remains illegal for most Texans, hemp products that can get you high, like Delta 8, Delta 9, and THCA, are being sold at more than 7,000 retailers statewide. But our Lieutenant Governor, he wants to both regulate and ban these products. Now, it doesn't take a genius to figure out that you can't do both of these things. Fortunately, we don't have to choose between safety and legalization. We can and should have both, but it's going to take leaders who know enough and care enough to do what's right. My opponent doesn't, which is a real shame. Not only will legalization and regulation help support our small farmers and medically complex Texans, but the tax revenue...
Medically complex Texans.
I like that.
And mental health services.
First time I've heard that. Medically complex.
Texans should have the freedom to...
I like how she kind of forgets what she's saying.
Read all
She is
about
ripping
my
the
common
bong.
sense policy. I'm Sally Duvall, and I believe it's high time for change in Texas.
High time, I
Should
get
have
it.
the freedom to consume
Right
these
there on the
products
kitchen
if they
counter.
want to. You can visit my website to read all about my common sense policy. I'm Sally Duvall, and I believe it's high time for change in Texas.
She's got the voice. She's got all of it. It's high time for change there in Texas. We got a lot of bureau chiefs down there. This is how you can make yourself heard. They're in the 7th District. Well, congratulations to her. Best of luck.
Keep on smoking, baby.
That's right. She should hit that guy up.
I'm having an overdose of this, so is my wife.
Overdose of what?
Marijuana, but I don't know if it had something in it. Can you please send rescue?
Do you guys have fever or anything?
No, I think we're dying.
Okay, how much?
Time is going by really, 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 really slow.
Spoiler alert. I was reading this article in The Atlantic. It was a couple of weeks ago, but they were like, hey, this particular person was like, I'm all in favor of the way the law is going, but marijuana is just too strong now. As it's become easier to get, it has become harder to smoke. I'm talking about people who fire up the flower. They're like, pot, and you hear this all the time, it's not your grandfather's pot. And boy, that's right. Now, I couldn't tell you the last time I fired up the flower. I'm an edibles guy. But for people who smoke, and I got nothing against smoking.
I still like to smoke. That's
Yeah,
my favorite.
occasionally.
I don't like the edibles. I like the smoke because it's quicker and I know how much I'm getting. Yeah, it doesn't last as long. The edibles can really jam me up.
Oh, like a day-long high is what you're talking about. Yeah, I don't have that, but I mean...
Smoke weed every day.
I haven't smoked in 3 years. I haven't been high in over 3 years.
Is that by design or accidentally?
Smoke some
By
crack.
design. I'm not going to smoke crack.
By design.
No, thank you.
Smoke weed
You're
every
such
day.
a nerd.
Yeah, I know.
She's not even California sober.
Nope.
She's sober.
Fully sober, clean and sober.
Good for you.
Thanks.
Except for the Adderall.
Well, doctor prescribed, but yeah.
Well, a doctor could prescribe marijuana, Mary.
It could.
Yep. You know what that's called?
What?
Medicinal
Hey.
marijuana. Strange thing happened on the path to marijuana legalization, this guy says. The density of the nugs is crazy, one person says. They're so sticky. These strains of marijuana are not for amateurs. They said compared to what people were smoking even 20 years ago, the THC content has tripled from 5 to 16%, which still understates how strong weed has gotten. They said you walk into a dispensary, you'd be hard-pressed to find a single product that advertises a 5% THC level. And so they're like, for the average smoker who wants to take a few hits without getting absolutely blitzed, I feel like that's why I haven't smoked in a while, because I feel like the last time I did, I was like, Jesus Christ. I had the experience that you describe with edibles.
See, that's why I just
I feel like I've dialed in the edibles.
One or two hits, and I'm like, I'm good. And people are like, oh, you don't want it? I'm like, no, I don't like to be super high. I like a little buzz.
But again, that's what this guy's talking about.
Yeah.
Even a couple of hits, you're walking around, with your head spinning for the entire day. They also said that marijuana users are less likely to experience severe COVID infections. I don't know how that works, because whatever you think about marijuana legalization, you are smoking. This notion that it's somehow good for you. I don't mean medicinally. I don't mean mitigation of pain. The notion that it is good for you is one that gets pushed around a lot. It might be better for you than some other things. But, fun costs you.
Well, it's the same people who are like, I drink red wine because it's got antioxidants.
My
It's like,
polyphenols are all in there.
You drink 2 bottles. So
2 bottles.
You're probably good. Good for a few days.
Think of all the antioxidants they got, Mary.
Right.
Yeah. Alan, I saw Medically Complex Texans open for Primus a few years ago at Stephen West Park. I saw Concept of a Plan open for Primus. They were really good. That Texas House candidate sounds like Peggy Hill. Who was that, Kathy Najimy? I don't recall Peggy Hill's
She
voice.
doesn't sound like Peggy Hill. Peggy Hill doesn't have a smoker's rasp, does she?
No.
I don't think so.
I mean, she did. There's an episode about them smoking. But
Here's a Peggy Hill clip from an old episode.
Be careful on the April Fool's jokes.
That's not.
That's not
That's not Peggy Hill. Oh, Hank and Peggy's smoking days.
Yeah. And then
All right.
Bobby starts smoking too, and then they.
But he's so young.
Right, and then they make him smoke a bunch. To well, you're gonna smoke the whole carton, and then he gets addicted too.
Yeah, did that ever work? By the way, like
don't
the
think so.
aversion therapy.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Everybody always had those stories, and I didn't know if they were apocryphal or not. Like if they were actually happening. Oh, my dad, he made me go behind the garage and smoke a cigar. hoping it would get me off of them, and now I smoke cigars. My parents never did that to me. My parents didn't smoke when I was a kid. My siblings all smoke to this day.
That flesh-eating virus has claimed another victim.
Well, don't let it worry you, Peggy. Sometimes you just gotta relax and enjoy life for all its rich, mellow flavor.
Hike, what are you doing?
Well, Bobby vomited with 1 pack to go. I couldn't throw him out. That would be wasteful.
But we haven't smoked for 12 years.
I know, but, well, hey, doesn't the smell take you back?
What do you get?
Like a log flume ride.
Yeah.
That's what you get for your trouble life.
You know, when I was just kind of getting into dating, it was imperative. Another thing that my mom tried to drill into our brains was don't date smokers. Her thought was, what if you fall in love? And now you're in love with someone who's a smoker, and you're not going to break up with them because they're a smoker. And then maybe you have children. And then those children, you know, my mom, loved my mom. She would weave these tales, right? And I guess it made some sense to me, but there was a period of time because I was not a daring young man. And so when I started dating people, end of high school, beginning of college, invariably you would be dating people, or at least going out with people, who were smoking. And there was a period of time where I got so hooked on making out with somebody who smoked. It was like you were dancing with the devil, but you weren't smoking. Now, I'd started smoking weed when I was 15 years old, but it was never like a daily thing for me. That was in place of drinking. I didn't drink till I was 26. But I just remember like making out with girls who had smoked, and I was like, man, I could get used to this. I don't know when that ended, but it was, I didn't mind that at all. But Hank and Peggy, as you said, Mary, that doesn't sound like the lady there in Texas.
Not at all.
Be careful on the April Fool's jokes.
Indiana, one of our bureau chiefs sent me this, then I have to go to a break. Dollar store urine candle, right? That sounds like the name of sounds like a Melvin's record.
That sounds like any candle you get from a dollar store.
Candles filled with urine spill on a 9-year-old at a Dollar Tree in South Bend, Indiana.
This is what we live for, baby.
They say don't have your kids unaccompanied. They'll get covered in urine.
They'll get a pee candle.
Mm-hmm.
Honey, what does this smell like? It certainly doesn't smell like anything good.
That's
Asparagus.
Yeah, so this mom was quite displeased.
USBT 22.
Yeah, this all happened last Thursday at the Dollar Tree on State Road 23 in South Bend near Ironwood Drive. WSBT 22's Nick Outhoff talked with that mother tonight. Nick, the mother, she told you she is demanding answers.
Nick, you want to grab this piss candle story, pal? I need somebody out there at the Dollar Tree on Route 22.
Come on, I did the poop in public thing last week.
He's like, I'm low man in the totem pole. I just got out of J school, and now I'm here at South Bend.
Am I the excrement guy?
Unthinkable act. Adriana Shelton and her...
Is there any unthinkable act now? I mean, I certainly don't think that a urine-filled candle rises to the level of an unthinkable act.
I would say unexpected act.
There you go.
Yeah.
A surprise.
No one's expecting it. I don't know about unthinkable.
There you go. It's like the Spanish Inquisition. Yeah. Nobody expected that either.
Her 9-year-old daughter, Gray, were at the Dollar Tree on South Bend Avenue shopping for a gift for Gray's teacher when Gray reached for a candle on the shelf.
We're smelling candles, and she picked up a candle to smell and tilted it back, and it literally, liquid went down her. And at first we're like, maybe it's just water. And as we're walking through the store,
you're like, we are praying this is water.
Oh, yeah.
But wouldn't you smell it immediately? Immediately.
I give it a think.
I really hope this is water, because otherwise, you know what it'll be? Unthinkable.
Mm-hmm.
We get a foul smell. And Grace goes, Mom, my shirt really stinks.
That smell was
Her shirt?
Yep.
Mom, my shirt really stinks.
We got a bigger problem.
Of course, honey. Go grab a pack of that half-ply toilet paper over there.
So the store employees, the manager, has asked for corporate to put in cameras in those areas, and corporate just doesn't want to pay for those.
I talked to the store manager on duty today. They say
Duty.
Dollar Tree has been in contact with police and are trying to find who is urinating in the candles.
It's just a mess. They need to do better. They need to actually care. Even if it's not what they want to do, at least have a warning. Hey, be on the lookout, because this is just unacceptable. It's just
Hey, they should have a warning. Beware of pee-filled candles.
Somebody may have peed in our candles. I mean, that's not anything I'm ever going to not think of now. Like, I'm always going to be like, be careful with the candles.
Yes.
Someone may have peed in them.
You lean your head in. You don't pick the candle up and tilt it towards your face. What if somebody, again, this is a prank that's not nearly as invasive as filling it with pee, but what if somebody just recently lit the candle and you go to smell it, hot wax all down your face? Now, for some of us, that's our thing, but it's not for everybody. Sometimes I want to have a little Madonna, Willem Dafoe time.
You find out that it is in that moment, and now you're in public. Like,
Yes, I'm shaking and shivering. My pants sliding down my thighs. Here comes this kid careening around the corner, and I've got hot wax all over my chest. Nobody wants that.
Pee-pee's what I like to do. Pee-pee-poo, pee-pee-poo.
All right. I'm going to take a break. I want to get the last word in. Mary Santora has to go.
Goodbye.
But tomorrow, I will meet you back here.
Yes.
Bill will be gone.
Just us.
Just us. We're going to talk about him for 4 hours,
Oh, I
Mary.
can't
Be in tropical Spokane.
He's gonna write.
It's tropical, right?
Yeah, it sure is.
Oh, okay, good,
Yep.
good. All right, good.
He is going to leave me a series of notes that in his absence I can insert occasionally to maintain that level of hatred you have for him while he's gone.
You can't just give me one day off.